some of us facing a hard cleanup after a tornado touched down in Hot Springs Tuesday night.
For the first time in 20 years, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has issued a severe geometric storm watch.
So yeah, today we're talking generators. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. It is a glorious day here in Arkansas. The weather is beautiful. I'm trying to soak up some sun. I might look and sound a little funny today. I have been sick for an entire week. I'm talking through my nose right now. I've had a summer cold, I guess. Started out with a sore throat, body aches, and now it's just been a week of congestion, sneezing, and blowing my nose. So hopefully I can get through this video without sneezing too much. But I did want to show you, I have a lot of people ask me what I do with all my old gas and oil when we take it out of the machines, because pretty much everything that we work on, we get rid of their old gas and oil. And it's understandable. What do you do with it? What do you do with it at your house? A lot of times you can call your local shops, automobile repair shops or small engine shops, and what they do, they keep large vats like these at their repair shop, and they have like an oil recovery service that will come and pick it up, and sometimes they're cool enough to let you drop it off there, and you might try that instead of just dumping it in your yard. Do not do that. But I picked a 225-gallon tub up this week, tote, that's going to go behind the shop. That's where we're going to keep all of our old oil. I've got some bins coming to put the gasoline in. Right now, I've got a ton of old gas cans where we've been keeping it until I picked one of these up. While I was doing it, though, I bought one that's food grade, and I'm using this one to store water in. Now, at my old shop, we would have a 225-gallon tote emptied probably about 3 times a year. That's how much oil and gas we would go through. I don't think we will at the house, though. Now, why did I get a 300-gallon tote to store water in? Well, this week's been especially crazy, but everything's crazy right now. And I've decided, for the last few years, I've been investing in a lot of things that are like an insurance to me. Like, we buy car insurance and house insurance. We should have insurance in ourselves. It's going to be a good day when Ron's got the smoker going. Can't open it though. Can't look, guys. You don't look. You just let it smoke. Now, one thing I cannot stress enough is that you have to have a generator and you have to know that it's working. Every time we would have a storm here in Arkansas, an ice storm, everyone would wait till the last minute to bring their generators in. It didn't matter if we had a week's notice saying that we were going to have, negative temperatures, ice storms. People always waited to the last few days to see if it would actually start. And you need to do that today. Now, I want to give a warning. If you have your generator sitting for a long time, or if you go to put gas in it and you have not checked your fuel, like I've told you in many other videos, 70% of the units that I get into the shop have water in the fuel. It just sucks in it and out of the air, and the more humid it is, the more water you're going to get in there. It's always something to check, especially on generators. I see it on tillers too. If you have water inside of your engine and inside of your bowl, and you go to take your air filter off and give it a good spray so you can, hopefully get it to pop off because it's been sitting for a while, you can catch your unit on fire. So how can you start a fire on your generator? If there is any water in the bowl of your carburetor and you use an accelerant, when you go to start it and it pulls that water accelerant gasoline mix into your combustion chamber, if there's not enough water to actually make it not start at all, it will backfire through the carburetor. And it does this by turning the water into steam, and it will suck it back out through your intake valve, through your carburetor, out your air filter base, and blow a ball of fire at you. So I would definitely suggest draining the bowl on your carburetor, letting a little bit run out of your gas tank into a jar or something so you can see if there's any kind of water in your fuel. That way you're safe to get it started. Now, there is usually only 2 problems with generators that we see coming to the repair shop. It's either been sitting and has carburetor issues, or it has an oil sensor switch issue. I did do a video on the oil sensor switch, how to completely bypass that in case you're in a bind and you need to get it running. I will leave a link right up above if you want to check that out. Because if you have a bad oil sensor switch, you won't have any fire. And I've already made a generator prepping video a while back. I will leave a link right up above telling you that you really need to, if you're going to let it sit, and everybody does with gas in it, nobody ever wants to drain out 8 gallons of gas out of their generator or whatever. You can get an aftermarket carburetor. Just look it up for $20 probably, and just keep it on hand just in case you need it. I would definitely recommend doing that. Now, I can't leave links below because I have no idea exactly which generator you have, but it's definitely something to think about. You don't want to have to stop and be repairing your carburetor in the middle of a power outage. I've had my power go out 3 times this last month, and I don't even put my generators away anymore. I keep them on my back porch. That way, whenever anything goes out, now my gas-powered generators, I can have my big one, I can plug up to the house if I want to and work like half the house. But I'm not doing that right now because I have the chickens in my garage, and y'all have seen my baby chickens. And so what I've been doing to keep them heated, I've got my Oops generator here. This is my 2400 watt. I think I've got a 1200 watt, and then I've got my 2 gas powered generators, and that keeps our refrigerators going and our freezers going and stuff like that. So I'm being prepared, just like with the 300 gallons of water I can store now. You got to start thinking about these things, guys. Now, I was just using my Oops generator to blow up some wraps, but these things are awesome. This is a power station, so you can charge it up and forget about it for like a year. They are definitely come in handy. I got 2 solar panels with this one, and that way, if the grid goes down, hopefully I can still get enough power to, keep a freezer or refrigerator going. I've been using my Oops now. I think I made a post just a couple weeks ago when our power went out and I needed it to warm my chicks. And I've been using them for about 2 years and love them. I'll leave a link to them in the description box below if you want to check them out. And just to let you know, I started an Amazon store just so it's one click away where y'all can find all the tools that I use in my videos and whatever parts I'm using on whatever I'm working on. I did make a generator section that you can check out. It shows all the fast moving parts that we usually use to repair these. So what's going on this week? Well, here in Arkansas, where we haven't had a tornado in probably 30 years in this area, we had one a few days ago. It was an EF2. It was like 600 yards wide. It traveled for like 13 miles and took out a bunch of trees. We've had a ton of rain here lately, and the water was just so moist that anywhere this tornado traveled, it went actually across the lake, so it did miss a lot, but every neighborhood it hit, every patch of woods that it hit, the trees just laid on over if it didn't break them off completely. So it really did a lot of destruction, but I have to give it huge props to energy. The men and women that work there, I am just in awe of how fast they work and get things going again. I mean, 8,000 people were out of power after this tornado, and they had everything pretty much going back to, in a day. I mean, there was one neighborhood that was really hit, and I think their power's still off, but the rest of everything, it's amazing how fast these guys work. And so kudos, if you work for energy, props. On top of that, last night we saw an aurora borealis in Arkansas, and I guess all the way down to Louisiana. Now, this is the first in my life. It's always a bucket list thing. You're going to go up north and hopefully see this one day. And that's just one thing we can check off, right? A little crazy. In Arkansas. Now, why do we have an aurora borealis? It's because of these solar flares. Now, if you haven't heard of it before, the last time we had solar flares like this, they lasted for a week. They went all the way down to South America, and that was called the Carrington event in 1859. And it knocked out all of the telegraphs in all of America. And you really don't hear about that. Now, I didn't hear about it until Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid, of all people, is a huge advocate trying to warn the world that that's the next thing that's going to do us in is these large solar flares are going to hit us, knock out all our power grid, and what happens then? You hear 90% of everybody's gone in the first year because of what cascades from that. But what happens if the power does go out? You don't want to scramble to have no power. You want to have some kind of power to keep your refrigerator going or your freezers going until you can figure out a way to can your meat or store your meat or get a plan, right? You should start planning now. So guys, I am not a news channel. I am not a prepper channel. I am a small engine channel, but I feel it would be a disservice to not give y'all a reminder because I would have so many customers every single year who waited till the last minute to check their generators. And I'm telling you, I mean, even without the tornadoes and the solar flares, with everything that's going on in the world today, it's just something to do to have that peace of mind that you'll be ready in case your power goes out. And something else I've done that you might just think about, I mean, I don't know where you all are in the world, but I'm in around the Ozarks, so if anything did happen and, you know, the grid goes down, I'd like to know what I can forage for, you know, if there's any kind of medicinal herbs I could use. Got a couple of them books, foraging for mushrooms without fear, that way you don't eat anything that you're not supposed to, and how to, you know, pickle and ferment, you know, foods to keep them stored longer. I'll leave all these books in the description box below. So my mom told me last night that she likes to watch pressure washing videos, which I find relaxing too. So I thought I'd do this for her for Mother's Day. So I started pressure washing my deck, and I thought you might want to see this transformation too. Sorry, Echo, I gotta steal your spot, your tannin spot. But yeah, we put this deck in last year. We didn't. We had somebody build it for us because I can't do that awesome curve. But this was treated wood, and I don't know what they're doing to wood these days, but this is what happened to it in a year. So I'm going to get this pressure washed so I can stain it hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Well, I'm not a professional pressure washer, but I think I did okay. We'll let her dry and see how she looks. So it's still drying, but it looks a lot better. Gonna let it dry till tomorrow and get her stained up. Hey, I made it without sneezing or blowing my nose. So guys, thanks again for tuning in to Chickanic. If you find yourself coming back over and over again in my videos, think about hitting that subscribe button. It helps out the channel to make my videos shown to more people to save them time, money, and frustration in the future. If you haven't found me at Facebook, find me at facebook.com/Chickanic. Find me on Instagram at TheRealChickanic, or find me at Chickanic.com, where you get your own t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts. Thanks guys, and have a great day.